My dad homewrecker wife is trying to get custody of me when I don't even like her. My mom died when I 16 male was 7. When she was sick my dad cheated on her with Ashley, who was supposed to be his friend from college. How I found out was at my mom's funeral. Ashley's ex attacked my dad and called him a hypocrite for acting like a grieving widower when he'd been fricking Ashley for weeks. One of my uncles took me away while the other two stayed to find out what the hell was happening. But I heard enough. My dad moved Ashley in with us later that week. She was trying to be all sweet and caring to me and she tried to take care of me, but I was angry at them both and I hated that they'd done that to my mom and that she actually came to mom's funeral. She told me what her ex said wasn't true and that she was just helping as a friend, but a couple of months later she's pregnant and they're engaged and they got married before their first kid was born. Right after the baby was born my dad kicked Ashley and the baby out and they got back together a while later. They were on and off like that ever since. I hated living with them and I hated both of them. Even today I don't think either of them is a good person and I don't respect either of them. My dad doesn't care, so he just lets me do and say what I want, and I spend a lot of time with between my 3 uncles. They're the only real family I have. Mom and her brothers, the uncles, grew up in foster care. My dad's family never paid much attention to me, so I never cared much about them. His parents only started showing up 5 years ago and they were pretty indifferent to me. The only time my dad has ever done anything about any of what happens is when he feels like I'm at one of my uncle's places for too long. He drags me home and says I can't live with any of them. My uncles have offered to have me come live with them before and dad said no. They went to court to try and get custody of me, but it wasn't taken seriously because none of them was my other parent and CPS didn't do crap either. They knew it wasn't great, but they didn't think it was worth me living with a non-parent. Ashley and my dad have 3 kids together. Ashley and the kids get kicked out every few months. She always tried to get me to like her, but I ignore her mostly. I don't care about the kids either and I don't do anything with them ever. In September Ashley filed for divorce, which is the first time that ever happened. But she found out dad was cheating on her with someone and she was done. Not all the time she and her kids were homeless, but the cheating did it. She told me she loved and wanted to ask for custody of me. I told her I never loved her. She was just the homewrecker in my eyes and she was a worthless piece of trash and I wouldn't live with her if she was the only option I had. She got upset and asked me how I could know her all this time and not love her. I refused to answer, but I told her I didn't care about her kids either and I was glad they were gone. I told her she deserved everything that happened for what she helped him do to my mom. That was the last time I saw Ashley. A few weeks after she moved out, dad's parents started showing up more and they told me I should invite Ashley and the kids to celebrate my birthday and I should see them. I ignored them trying to get involved, but then in December they told me they knew what I said to Ashley and they told me I should appreciate her way more than I do and how could I make her cry like that. I rolled my eyes at them and told them to go away and they told me Ashley deserved better because she tried to be a good mom to me. I got into a fight with them about how Ashley isn't my mom. I spent Christmas with my uncles and only came back when dad ordered me to. His parents were there again and they said I don't even treat my dad with respect. I told them I hated him just as much as Ashley, but he doesn't care, and I'm not going to be able to hurt him, so I ignore him. I told them I hoped someone would break his heart someday, and I hoped he'd be left miserable and alone. They argued with me that Ashley didn't deserve to be on the same level of hated as my dad because she was a better person, and I told them I didn't see it. Then a couple of weeks ago they told me Ashley wanted to see me for her and one of the kids' birthdays. I didn't go and apparently she cried again. They told me she'd give me a better home than dad would, and since I lived with her more and she counted as a parent, which my uncles don't, I would have a better chance living with her. I told them I'd rather be homeless. They complained about my attitude, but I walked away from them. They heard me asking dad to let me live with my uncles, and when he said no they told me I have an option that I won't take. My uncles looked for legal advice, but they're not going to win, and if I refuse to go home the police would take me home because he's my only parent, and even at my age they'll do it. So I'm spending as much time with him as I can, and then spending as little time at dad's as I can. Dad's parents are still saying I'm turning into a really evil and cruel person who doesn't care about people, and that making Ashley cry is proof and treating her like I do is wrong.